Hi, everyone.
How's it going, guys? We are here from Disney, and today we are going to be doing a debrief for Tony and Sabrina, who gave their presentation for us last week. So we're super excited to share some things with you guys. So let's jump right in. All right, so yeah, like I said, so Tony and Sabrina gave their presentation on MD&As, which is management discussion and analysis. And we're going to be going over a few major points from the presentation, things that we liked, things that we thought you guys could do a little bit differently, and then just finish up with some concluding thoughts.
Yeah, we hope you guys find it helpful.
All right, guys, so now we're going to look at kind of the summary and the key points that Tony and Sabrina looked at. So first of all, you guys started off by telling the story of the MD&A, and we thought you guys did an excellent job of kind of simplifying this very broad and complex topic by creating a story type framework for it. So that was really helpful. We really enjoyed that you used an example of just one company, how you stuck with PepsiCo and kind of built a whole framework and a whole story around this using PepsiCo as the kingdom illustration, going with this Disney theme, which was really awesome. But yeah, so when we talked about the PepsiCo example, you guys had us go into breakout rooms, which I thought was really helpful. And within those breakout rooms, each breakout room was assigned to a different page, and we were supposed to see if there's any biases, any strange things, or different components of PepsiCo's MD&A that really stuck out to us. So within our group, we thought the MD&A was pretty standard for Pepsi. There was a few things that stuck out to us, specifically the analytical tools and how PepsiCo measured some of their bases. And as far as some of the financial reporting that we did, we were just a little bit curious as why did you pick this ratio instead of that one? And those could have raised some concerns as far as biases to show Pepsi's kind of better side of how they're doing, as opposed to maybe some negative results that they had. Then you guys took us into the basic framework of the MD&A, which you guys did a fantastic job at that. And within the framework, the MD&A basically is forecasting. So the MD&A is management telling a story to the stockholders, and it's describing the unique story of that company. So every company has different financial aspects and financial highlights. And so within telling a story, the MD&A can really shine as far as forecasting, looking at the past, looking at the future, maybe some current situations they might be dealing with. An example of this could be, maybe Walt Disney talking about impacts of COVID or where they're at right now and hoping within a few years things will change. So that was a really great aspect that you guys touched on. Then you went into SEC scrutiny. And from there, we went into the different abuses of the MD&A. And because, like we had talked about, because there are so many different industries and different companies, there's such a wide variety of what companies could disclose within their MD&A. And because an MD&A is not audited and there's not a set framework of disclosures, there's pretty much a lot of leeway for that. So that's when we touched on the different abuses of it. And we ended that conversation with kind of an in-class discussion of whether we thought MD&As should be audited, if there should be specific kind of guidelines or frameworks that companies would have to or are not allowed to report in their MD&A. And so that class discussion was really helpful for kind of going over SEC's vision of what the future of MD&As will look like. So now Megan is going to take us from the next slide.
Thank you, Isaac, for going over the summary and key points. Now I'm just going to look at some of the connections and distinctions that you guys made in your presentation that we thought were especially helpful. To kick it off, we thought you did a great job of tying in the analogy of the story. Sometimes breaking down something as complex as MD&A into something that's a bit more simple to understand, such as a fairy tale analogy, can really make it more palatable for a group of people to understand. We thought that was a really great use of your presentation overall, and tying one key theme into a presentation throughout its entirety is just a really great tool to have in your back pocket, and definitely separated your presentation from other presentations that I've seen and really made it stood out. So we thought you guys did a great job with that. And on top of that, some of your images and your other devices that you used also followed the story time theme or the fairy tale theme as well, like when you had us use different Kahoot names to sign in. Thought that was a really fun and engaging way to get us all kind of engaged together and ready to talk about MD&A as a group. what really set, and it also kept it lighthearted as well, which we thought was very helpful. So the discussion of MD&A really serves to help us as future accountants, we believe. Every MD&A is very different and varies greatly by company and industry. So right now we kind of realize that we're all going to be on different engagements in the future and serving a wide range of clients. So it's really important for us as future accountants to understand how different MD&As can look across a wide variety of areas. You guys linked in real life examples by using the PepsiCo analogy, and by using that one company and tying it into different areas of your presentation to help explain topics to us was very helpful. We also thought that your utilization of breakout rooms really served to help us as well. I, for one, am a learner who does a lot better in smaller groups when I have kind of a back and forth with my classmates. So I really appreciated that, and using that to look at our case study with PepsiCo was really helpful to me, and I think it was helpful to a lot of our classmates as well. So now I'm going to pass it to Isaac, who's going to talk about some of the constructive feedback that we had for you guys. Hopefully you find it helpful.
All right, and we know that Dr. Massey roasted John in his presentation, so we're not going to roast you guys that bad, but just to kind of go over some main areas as far as what we want to give you, Tony and Sabrina, as far as some constructive feedback. So first of all, the format of the presentation. Overall, we really appreciated the slides and how you guys laid everything out. As far as the format goes, maybe one thing we would have liked to see a little bit differently is a greater use of pictures. I know people say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I think it actually is, and it's super helpful as opposed to just tons of words on a slide. To have a picture really helps tell a story, and you guys did not have that issue of too many words on your slides. We thought that was one thing that you guys did really well at. Well, you guys did many things very well. You know what I'm trying to say. But as far as using more pictures, we would have liked to seen that. Also, the font was a little bit hard to read, and we weren't sure if that was because of the color scheme. Like I believe it was a gray font with like a pink or purple background. It was a little hard to interpret, or maybe the font was bolded, and that's why it was a little bit difficult to read. But that's just something to be aware of for future presenters and for future presenters of how your the background and your font looks, and if they blend well, if the reader can see it well. Then just moving into the content, we thought you guys did a really excellent job as far as the material and the content you covered. You guys knew what you were talking about. You weren't just blabbing and talking about random stuff. You knew what you wanted to talk about, and you communicate that effectively. You use good analytical skills in describing your points. You also simplified things very well, which we're very appreciative of. Some of these accounting topics are very complex and are very multifaceted. So we thought that you guys simplified and made them easier to understand. One of my favorite episodes from The Office, Michael Scott says, "Talk to me like I'm in 5th grade." And I wanted to say that, and I felt like you guys talked to me like I was in 5th grade. So I understood it, so it was good. And then as far as delivery, you guys spoke very clearly and concisely. You did great with your handoffs and your transitions. Towards the beginning of the presentation, Tony, I know there was like a weird technical glitch, and I thought you just did a great job of handling that. You didn't get flustered by it. You just quickly moved on with the presentation. So kudos to you. And yeah, we thought that you guys both did an excellent job.
So now we're going to open up the discussion to the rest of the class. We're going to send you guys a quick Google form for you to fill out, kind of going over what aspects of last class were most helpful to you as learners and students and least helpful to you as learners and students, just so we can use this tool for future presenters to help aid their presentation in class as well. We thought Tony and Sabrina did an absolutely great job, and we're very grateful for their presentation that helped us understand MD&A. So thank you, Tony and Sabrina. We hope this debrief was helpful to you guys as well, just to kind of sum everything up.
Just a reminder to wear your masks, stay safe, and we'll see you on the other side.